Are you an average person in the sense that your opinions are more or less typical? Let me give you an example. Ask the average person what color the sky is, and he would say the sky is blue. Ask the average person if she has enough money, and she would say, I don't quite have enough money, no matter how much she has or doesn't have. So I've got some questions for the average person in that sense this morning. Which is more important, making money or being devoted to your family? Well, you ask the average person, and almost everyone will answer family is most important. But watch the way that person actually lives out her life. See where she invests her time and her energy, and we'll determine whether she lives with family in the forefront or if something else is there. Or again, a man is persuaded that if he leaves for work early in the morning and comes home at night, believes he is devoted to his family by working hard to provide for them the things they see advertised on television. However, he, in the process of being away at work so long, has deprived them of his presence. In the 7 or 8 years that I spent as a hospice chaplain, not one person I sat with ever said to me, I wish I had spent more time on my business. Not one in all those years. Here's another question. Which means more to you, the approval of strangers or the affection of people close to you? Well, ask the average person, and he or she will completely misunderstand why you're even asking such a ridiculous question. Obviously, nothing is more important than family. Yet, how many parents have embarrassed their children or squelched their creativity and spontaneity, fearing what the neighbors might say? Or again, how often have we gotten angry and taken it out on those closest to us because somebody upset us at work that day? Or maybe they cut us off at a traffic light and we're still seething by the time we got home. Here's another question. What does the average person really want out of life? Most will probably say, all I want is to be happy. I believe that. I believe most of us really want to be happy. I believe we work very hard at being happy. We buy books, we attend classes, we lose weight, we change our lifestyles, all in an ongoing effort to find that elusive quality, happiness. In spite of that, I suspect most of us do not feel happy most of the time. Oscar Wilde wrote, in this world there are only two tragedies. One is getting what we want. The other is not getting what we want. Success won't satisfy us. No matter how hard we work at it, being successful doesn't satisfy. When we get there, we find out that so much has been sacrificed on the altar of success that it's not really what we wanted in the first place. Here's how an anonymous friar put it, writing in his monastery. If I had my life to live over, I'd try to make more mistakes.
Last weekend.
I'd relax, limber up, I'd be sillier than I've been this trip. I know of very few things I'd take seriously. I'd take more trips. I'd be crazier. I'd climb more mountains, swim more rivers, and watch more sunsets. I'd do more walking and looking. I'd eat more ice cream and fewer beans. I'm for that, okay? I'd have more actual troubles and fewer imagined ones. See, I live life sensibly, hour after hour, day by day. Oh, I've had my moments, he writes, and if I had to do over again, I'd have many more moments. See, I've been one of those people who never go anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a gargle, a raincoat, and aspirin. If I had it to do over again, I'd go places, do things, travel lighter. If I had my life to live again, I'd start barefooted earlier in the spring and stay that way later in the fall. I wouldn't make such good grades, except by accident. I'd ride more merry-go-rounds and pick more daisies, unquote. Another example comes from the well-known architect Frank Lloyd Wright. He told a story of a lecture he got when he was 9 years old. That lecture set his philosophy of life. Here's how he told it. His no-nonsense uncle took him for a walk across a snow-covered field. At the far side, his uncle said to him, "Turn around. Look back at our footprints. See how your footprints go aimlessly back and forth from those trees to the cattle, back to the fence, then over there where you were throwing sticks. But notice how my path comes straight across, directly to my goal. Never forget this lesson." Frank Lloyd Wright said, "I never did forget that lesson. I determined right then and there not to miss so much of life as my uncle did." Too many of us miss much of life. There are no magic lamps with genies that bring us happiness. Ask the average person, and you'll hear that we live in a messed up world. A world where school buses get hijacked. Mothers do despicable things to their children. Nobel Peace Prize winners get murdered at a peace rally because they're seeking peace. Kids bring rifles to school and shoot as many as they can. And on and on and on the list will go. There are always low times in life. In fact, there will be so many of a low time sooner or later in our lives, we can't remember which way is up. But what is it that saps our happiness? Isn't it the burdens that come our way? The things that we want but don't get? The things that happen to us that aren't fair? We all find life disappointing sometimes. Life isn't fair. Learn that. The other thing that saps our happiness at times is that we try to deal with these trials by ourselves. We don't have to do it alone. We have the freedom to take our gripes and complaints to God. Just as Jeremiah showed us a few weeks back in our first lesson from that day. When difficulties arise, remember this above all else: you are not alone. You've got someone who sticks closer than a brother, Jesus Christ. The same Jesus Christ who calls us and reaches down to us no matter how deep in a mess we are. He says this: Come to me, all you that are weary, all who are carrying heavy burdens. Burdens like guilt, pain, despair. All that keeps us from being happy. Come to me, says Jesus, and I will give you rest. Amen.